Right, I'm Luke Does Stuff. If you like this video, why don't you leave a like? If you enjoy my content as a whole, why don't you hit that subscribe button? And if you never want to miss an upload, hit that notification bell. If there's something you want to say to me about my content, comment section below. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, join the community Discord, or follow me on Twitch, I've got links to those in the description as well. Without further ado, let's roll the intro. This video is going to be a bit weird and it's going to be controversial because I'm talking about the top 10 comics that everyone loves but I hate. And without further ado, we're gonna hit this off with possibly the least controversial of all of them, Wolverine Weapon X. I don't like Wolverine Weapon X. I just don't. The artwork puts me off a lot. Like Barry Windsor Smith, his artwork is just too kind of gory and too like horror-ish, and it's not my cup of tea as far as like Wolverine books or just superhero books are concerned. There's barely any action in it. I think that's part of the appeal for most people, but for me, there's no real drive. Every character is unlikable, and you don't root for anyone. You don't even root for Wolverine because he's a fucking murderer. He's a criminal. You don't root for him, and you don't root for the people that are doing experiments on him because they're fucking doing experiments on a human being. You know, yeah, there's nothing really that I latched onto in this book. A lot of people did, and a lot of people enjoy it, but I'm just sorry, Wolverine Weapon X, I don't like it. Up next we got Thor, The Last Viking. This is the only book in the Walt Simonson era that I have read, and I've heard a lot of great things about Walt Simonson's work on Thor. I have heard from a lot of people that it's the definitive Thor run. This is going to get me in trouble. I don't like anything about this book at all. The artwork is bad. Yes, it's been updated, but that just means that it's been remastered, which also means that I would not enjoy it anymore if I was reading the original. There's way too much of that kind of Thor speech that I can't grasp, and it's more of a personal thing. I don't really enjoy Thor. I haven't enjoyed Thor until recently, and even then you'll see later on. I don't even enjoy the most recent Thor run that just wrapped up. But Thor: The Last Viking is a book that I just cannot do it. I just cannot do it. Keeping on the topic of Thor, it's Thor by Jason Aaron. everyone fucking loves this book. Everyone. But me. Because I am a big stinky poo-poo head that doesn't like anything. Yeah, Jason Aaron's Thor. I don't have anything against Jason Aaron. I really don't. I like a lot of his writing. I like his writing in it. I like how Thor is written. Everything that is wrong with this book stems from Mike Del Mundo and his art. And I realise that's a controversial statement in and of itself, because, you know, Mike Del Mundo is like, he's one of the greats. He's one of the great new artists. No, he's not. Look at that. Does that look like the kind of artwork that you want to see in a mainstream Thor book? No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't look right. You've got these fucking stars that are coming off and tinking off every time Thor uses Mjolnir and uses it against Juggernaut. It's a creative thing to show that his hammer's not doing much damage. I don't care. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look pretty. It looks ugly. I don't like it. Can I not just have my own opinion? You know? I don't like Jason Aaron's Thor because I don't like Mike Del Mundo's art. The issues where Mike Del Mundo is not on art, where it's doing something else that isn't a part of the main storyline, are good. Those are good issues. The main issues that are leading into War of Realms is just ruined by Mike Del Mundo's art. I just can't do it. I can't fucking do it. We're gonna leave the most controversial till last. But I think this book might be just as controversial, and I might get just as much hate for saying I don't like this. But it's X-Men Dark Phoenix. Everyone says if you're going to get into X-Men, read Dark Phoenix. It's the best X-Men story. You're gonna love it. It hasn't aged well at all. It's very wordy, which I don't like. John Byrne's art is fucking phenomenal. May I just say that? But that does not save what is mostly a boring story. An incredibly boring story. Like, just not a lot happens until the end, and then when the end happens, not a lot happens then, and most of it is sitting down, standing around, or pointless talking. And when there's action going on, there's a lot of pointless talking in amidst the action, and the action is never very good, and the actual like plot is very 80s. I know, oh, it was written in the 80s. Yeah, but it's clear that it was written in the 80s. A lot of the stuff that happens in this book wouldn't work today. It just wouldn't. Like, there's a reason why in the 80s characters just said their powers. They just said when they were using their powers, or they had to remind you every issue what a character's powers are. There's a reason why at the start of every modern comic book, when it's a team book, they have that page that introduces you to everyone and tells you their powers in that page. In this, you're going through the entire book, and it really takes you out of it when you have Colossus going, "Oh, I will change my skin to steel, blah, heh, heh." And it's like, no, you're taking me out of the story. I was enjoying that for the moments that it was going on. And then you have Cyclops who's like, if I even open my eyes, an optic blast will come out, and that'll kill everyone. And that's a bad thing. And it's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I've been reading the book for the last, 100 and something issues. I know what your powers are. I don't need to be told. And I know everyone's like, oh, Stan Lee's big thing was that every comic book is someone's first. Yes, but I doubt anyone is jumping on X-Men at issue 185, are they? My last pick is the one that's going to get me in the most trouble, because it's Immortal Hulk. Everyone fucking loves Immortal Hulk, and everyone's like, Immortal Hulk, Immortal Hulk. This beat Batman in sales. A Hulk book beat Batman in sales. Why? Because it's horror. Because it's doing something different with the Hulk. Just because you're doing something different with the Hulk doesn't mean it's good. Amadeus Cho was something different with the Hulk. Was it good? No. Do we go back to that? No. This presents some interesting ideas, but again, it's ruined because the artwork's crap. The artwork's crap, the body horror is like, A, there's way too much of it, B, it's unnecessary and unneeded, and it doesn't further the plot. It's just, oh, we want some interesting visuals, why don't we cut up the Hulk and put his body into jars? It doesn't do anything for me. If you're into horror, sure. If you're into unnecessary stuff that doesn't really need to happen, but it's going on anyway, sure. This first issue I loved because it's the Hulk, he's smart, but he's still smashing stuff. The rest of the issues go into this deep psychological trauma, and it's like, and it's just this weird woman that's like, oh, I want to be the Hulk because the Hulk smashed my house. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything? And then Betty Ross is like the Harpian, and at the end of issue 19, she's just like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rip apart my husband. I'm going to rip my husband apart, open up his chest cavity, and start eating his heart. And people are like, oh, this is the shock ending of the century. This is the best book of the decade. This is this, this is that. Why? And give Immortal Hulk all the accolades. For what? Because it made a bird woman eat someone's heart. And people are gonna say, oh, it's got the deeper meanings. I don't care. It's uncomfortable to read, and I don't want to, you know, there's nothing really interesting that coming out of Immortal Hulk that I'm like, that's cool, I want to follow that. It's just, here's a disgusting monster, here's a disgusting amount of body horror that no one wants to see, and oh, maybe we're doing something interesting about the Hulk being evil, but that's going to be put on the back burner for disgusting monsters and disgusting body horror, and just, it's just gross. And it's not what I want from a Hulk book. It's like, yeah, the Hulk is a horror character, but if you're gonna do horror, do horror. Don't do just disgusting giblets for no real reason. So this video is gonna get me in trouble. Yeah, I look forward to reading the comments on this one. This is entirely my opinion. Just because the thumbnail says I hate these books, I don't hate these books. I just don't think they're worth the praise that everyone's giving them. There are better books, even better books now, that, you know, are more worth reading than these. And I absolutely hate the fact that some of these books are put in the must-reads for a character, or if you're just jumping into comics, go towards this. No, if you're just jumping into comics, go into Avengers, go into something from the movies that you remember from the movies. That's the best advice you can give to someone who's a fan of the movies and wants to read the comics. Just read Civil War. Just read Civil War. That's my advice. Just read Civil War or Secret Wars. Secret Wars is a good comic, and B, it has a lot of characters in, so you can pick and choose who you like from it. Anyway, that's gonna be me for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed this, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave it a dislike. It's like when you're honest. And hit subscribe, hit notification bells, go to my community Discord, go to my Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all that lovely good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.